So today we're going to be making a scarf, and this scarf is going to be for a child. So we're only going to need one skein of yarn. Okay, this yarn here I purchased from Walmart, and I believe it was like $4.97 or something like that. You can always get it a little bit cheaper at Joann's or Michael's if you have a coupon. The name of the scarf is called Hometown USA, and it's a Lion brand yarn, and it is a 6 super bulky weight yarn, 100% acrylic, and it calls for a 9mm crochet hook. It's really soft. I mean, it's a really pretty yarn. Okay, so here I'm just looking at my crochet hooks to kind of see, do I have a crochet hook size 9? And I don't have one with me, so I'm going to go ahead and use a 12mm, and I actually really like this one. This is like a P, size P. It's really nice. It's a good grip. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and use that for this project. What you're going to do to start, just like with any other crochet project, you're going to go ahead and create a slip knot. And of course, you can figure out how to make a slip knot in so many different ways. I do have some other videos that show it a little slowed down, so that you can get it. But anyway, you're just going to create a slip knot and place that slip knot on your crochet hook. Remember, once you place it on your crochet hook, you're going to want to pull it to create tension. Okay, you don't want to, of course, you don't want it to be too tight, but you do want it to have some tension there. Okay, we're going to do a chain of 7 because that's the width that I want for this scarf. Like I said earlier, it is going to be for my child, so I don't need it to be too wide. Chain 7, and this is your foundation chain. Okay, once you have 7, you're going to do an additional 2 chains, which is going to serve as your first it's going to serve as your first stitch. Okay, you're going to skip to the third. You're going to skip to the 3rd stitch in the foundation chain and do a half double crochet. And I've shown in other videos what exactly a half double crochet is, so I won't go into too much detail here, but basically you're going to just do a yarn over. You're going to place the crochet hook through the chain, pull it through. You're going to yarn over again and pull through all 3 of the loops that are on your chain. You will continue this process down the entire length of your foundation chain, and I'm just showing you here how quickly this will work up. This is a bulky yarn with a very large crochet hook, so you should have this project done probably no more than an hour, hour and a half. Okay, you're going to work the half double crochet down the entire length of the chain. Alrighty, once you get to the last chain, you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work. That's such a pretty color. I'll probably say that about 100 times. Just looking at it, it just reminds me how pretty it was. Alrighty, there you are, your 2 chains, and you're going to turn your work. Now, usually when I'm showing you a tutorial, I will place the crochet hook in the center hole from the second one from the hook. That's normally where we would do our half double crochet. Because we're going to make a rib stitch, which I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like, you're not going to do it into the center hole. So here you are. This is me just showing you, this is a dishcloth that I love to make, so I'm showing you what a rib stitch looks like. Okay, and that's what we're going to be creating on this scarf. Okay, so go ahead, let's go ahead and get started. You've already done your chain 2, you turned your work, you've yarned over, and now you're going to look for the back stitch. So let me show you what that is. That's the front, that's what you're typically used to. If you're have been following my tutorials, that's the place where you normally would put the crochet hook. Okay, I'm just kind of trying to show you. When you turn your work kind of to the side, you will see V stitches. Okay, that's basically, or it can kind of look like a U. You call it a V though. So you have the front part of the V stitch and you have the back part of the V stitch. When you're doing your ribbing or creating your rib look, you're going to use the back part of the V stitch. Okay, so you would go ahead and yarn over, and you're going to skip the first one. That's what I do, and then you will put your stitch in that back area, the back part of the stitch. Okay, and we'll do it again here. And I'm going to do this several times throughout the tutorial, so that way you'll really get a good understanding of what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it's easier for me to just show you than it is for me to try to explain it to you. But you have the front and the back, and you're going to put your crochet hook through the back part of the V-stitch. And you're going to carry that all the way down your row. Just keep on going, keep on going. All right. When you get to the end of the row, you're not quite finished because you have to remember to put a stitch in that chain 2. That's really important. If you do not put a stitch in that chain 2, you will gradually shrink your work. It will gradually become narrower. So if you look there, I'm just showing you what I'm talking about. There is an area when you flip your work, you'll be able to see it. If you look at it, you can see it, but if you look at your own work, you can see it even better. You're going to just put your crochet hook in that hole and do a half double crochet. Okay, now here I'm just showing you what it looks like. As you continue to work, you'll start to see your ribs, your ribbing, and then it's going, okay, here you go. You're just chaining 2. And again, I'm just showing you your V-stitch, and I'm showing you the back part of that V-stitch. So that's like real important for this project, which is the reason why I keep emphasizing it, because that's what's going to allow you to have that ribbed look. Okay, sorry about that. I am going off frame a little. It gets a little weird trying to film, but I do come back in focus, so just bear with me for a moment while we kind of readjust so that you can see exactly the steps that I do to achieve the scarf. And anytime you work with a really super bulky yarn, it can stick a little bit, but just work with it. This acrylic yarn is very forgiving. It's easy to work with. It slips really easily, but sometimes your yarn can snag, and that's okay. That's normal. Looks good. Okay, you come into that last stitch on that row, but keep in mind you're also going to have to put a stitch in that chain. And I keep saying that in the chain, but if you remember, right when we're done with our row, we end up chaining 2. You have to put a stitch in that chain 2. So I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, there you go. Great. Now you have straight edges and your work is not shrinking. Chain in 2, and then you're going to work back down the row, putting in a half double crochet in the back stitch, or in the back portion of the V-stitch. Okay. Looks good. That's exactly what we want. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the row. Okay, and remember, you're going to put a half double crochet in that stitch on the very end. So that's in the chain, the chain 2. Perfect. Look how pretty that's turning out. Oh my gosh, you are a crochet expert. If yours looks like that, it looks good. Okay, looks really pretty. So just continue to work, and we'll get back together in a second so that I can show you how to end your project. But just keep working, and yeah, just keep on moving. Okay, so here we are. We're just about finished with our project. We've come to the closer to the end of the skein. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna chain 2. Look at that. That's really pretty. Okay, and I guess I just can't stop showing you this back stitch area. So here you go, one more time. At this point you should have it down, but you know, hey, this is a tutorial, so I want to make sure that you get it. So here you go. So that's the back stitch right there. One more time. And then you're going to complete your half double crochet. So I did that already. I skipped forward a little bit in the filming. I wanted to just make sure you understood that you do have to put a stitch even on your very last row in that last chain. So we're doing that now. Once you have the stitch in there, once you do your half double crochet in that stitch, we're ready to end our work. So we're going to show you how to do that. Okay. Come on, mama, you got this. There you are. Okay, perfect. Now we're ready to end our work. So the way we do that is we're going to go ahead and wrap, well, at first I guess I'm going to mire the work that we've already done, but you're going to go ahead and wrap the yarn around the crochet hook just like you're about to make a stitch. And then you're just going to pull through. You pull your yarn string all the way through. Perfect. And you're going to tighten that baby down. There you are, so that all your hard work does not come unraveled. And really, that is it. If you choose to, you can cut your string right there. I, however, like to weave in my tails a little bit before I clip it, just because I want to make sure, I want to be doubly, triply sure that my project, all my hard work, is not going to come apart in the wash or with regular wear and tear. So what I do to weave in my tails is I typically will use a smaller crochet hook. Now if you don't have a smaller crochet hook, that is fine. You can weave in the tails with the crochet hook that you're using. I just find it a little bit easier when I'm working back through a hole that I will I use a smaller hook. So this is all I do. As I wrap it around and I pull it through, and I wrap it around and I pull it through, and I do this probably 3 or 4 times until I feel like it's secured. Once I've done that, then I go ahead and finally clip off the tail, kind of pull it to just make sure there's nothing, you know, hanging out. And then you have to remember that you are going to have one more tail because you have one at the very beginning of your project, and you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to use that same crochet hook, and you're going to find a stitch and pull the tail through the stitch, and you're going to continue that process till you feel satisfied, and then after which you will take a pair of scissors and just clip off that tail. And really, you are done. That is your scarf. Look how great that looks. Oh my goodness. You look like an expert if you've gotten this far, just in terms of the way it's shaped up. The ribbing stitch is so pretty. If you ever make a crochet hat, that's just another way of doing it too. But anyway, there you are. That's your scarf. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Happy crocheting.